Welcome to the start of a new anime review series. This is The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic anime review, episode number 1. We're here reviewing the first 2 episodes of the series. So, with this one, basically, now I have been wanting this one for a little bit now, and of course, it has some of my favorite voice actors in it. Some who I've met, some I have not met yet. So, in the first episode, we are focused. The main character series is known as Usoho. Yeah, that's his name. His first name is Ken, but it's Uso. It goes by Uso. Yes, where he is basically like an average like background kid. While, by the way, he is voiced by Alejandro Saab, but he's not the first character we see in the first episode. Oh no. The first people we see are Suzune and Katsuki. Suzune is voiced by the awesome Alexis Tipton, who I've met. And this is her. And I do have a list here for her for Alexis Tipton. If I can find it here. In the 26th series. Yes. The last series I basically watched during was Chilling in the World with Limited Cheap Powers. Yep, so not been very long, but great to hear her voice again. Yes. And she's actually president of the school student council. The VP is Katsuki. Now, like, oh, this guy was like royalty, and of course the main character guy is like a background character. Like, yeah, the way he talks, almost like Emerson Shadow, but he's not like over the top with it. Yes, Emerson Shadow has it where the main character is so over the top the fact he's basically a background character. Here it's like, yeah, he's a background character. Moving on. We see him help out some birds, and then of course starts raining. And because it's a Japanese high school, so they have umbrellas, but somebody took his umbrella. We don't know who takes the umbrella, and we will never find out because, well, then by sheer coincidence, he runs into Kazune, the student council president, who just happens to come by. It's like, what are you doing here? And then, of course, basically, actually, no, it's Suzune right runs it first. Then Kazune comes a little bit later, who does know who he is, despite the fact he does mention they have never spoke to each other before at all. It's like that he does know him because they're in the same class together. But aside from that, nothing much. Oh, by the way, the studios who make this one, Studio Ad and Shin L Animation. Yes. And this is an old animation company. It's around since the 60s. Actually, yeah, since the 60s. The only series I've seen basically they worked on, well, a little third part one, which I did do last year, I think it was. Excuse me. Aside from that one anime, I'm looking it up basically, like, if I see anything else these guys have worked on. The Ace Academy, great anime. I did meet one of the voice actors this one, and I think it was the one who voices the one of the leads of the series, Elsie Greer Barr. She's like, oh, you're probably like the only person who probably watched that one. Yeah, even I question why the heck basically it's not season 2 of this one. Yeah, this actually is the first anime I've actually watched. This only is like the third ever anime I have ever watched where it's been a sub company. Not terrible. I thought this was really good here. Yep. So walk home, and then like everything seems normal, and of course talk about like their futures, and then all of a sudden Suzune hears bells. Katsuki hears the same thing, but of course Uso doesn't, and he walks up, and then they get magically summoned to another world. Oh, by the way, when they get summoned, then we unveil her true self. Is that she loves fantasy light novels. Yes, like me. Yep, and then of course they wake up in another world, and Susan's the first person to wake up. I'm like, that's interesting. Well, and then of course basically the two woke up, and of course they explained that they've been summoned, the fact that 2 years prior to the series, that the king himself explains there was this demon army, and then they lost, but then of course basically they beat them. Thanks to invasion. So they have been summoned. Of course, Kuznik does question like, how do you know we're heroes? You just randomly kidnapped us. Which, that's indeed true. He does point out the obvious flaw in this. But here's the thing. Then, of course, then they go and get their magic sorted. So we see that Susune knows thunder magic, and she's just like just drooling like crazy. And then, of course, Kazune, he can use light magic. And then Uso does his, and his turns green. And, of course, the sorceress is there. Let's see if I can find her name here. They don't say who actually what her name is. It's just that she just is some sorceress. She's just some girl with glasses. And like, oh crap, it drags it for the king. It's like, I'm sorry, your majesty, but his magic was green. It's like, oh crap, that means she's coming. And then here comes the beautiful Rose, voiced by the awesome Colleen Clickenbeard, who I've met twice. I actually saw her again just this past February. Great person to meet. If anybody gets a chance to meet Colleen Clickenbeard, please be sure to let us the comments below, because she is a wonderful person to meet in person. Yeah, she is so wonderful. And I got a picture of her twice. Alexis, I met her, I didn't take a picture with her, sadly. It was at Central Florida Comic Con. I think it was last year, It was 2023, I think it was when I met her. Yes, it was the same when I met Lindsay Seidel. Yeah, those are only two that I see here of the Dubcast who I have actually met. The other ones I have never met yet, sadly. So, and because she's so scary, it's like, oh, I'm gonna, like, she's the captain of the rescue team, and of course, he asks the obvious question of, like, what the heck is up with the magic? Well, okay, it's something all magic agree, and apparently Rose hears that, and then drags him away, and tries to drag him away, but like, oh, let's put with a bubble to poop up in the air so we get away from Rose. Rose just jumps up, punches the bubble, and says, sorry, man, I'm going to borrow him, and proceeds to race to her base on the outskirts of town. Not border the thing, anyways. And then, of course, she explains that he has an affinity for healing magic. And apparently healing magic is a very rare quality in this world. Oh, yeah, it's also she can use it too. So it's like, she's recruited the squad, and we're going to teach you how we're basically develop healing magic. So they were juiced to her squad, a bunch of, like, beefy guys. Yeah, her members of her squad are Orga, voiced by Leonard McDowell, who I have met this guy. Yep. Excuse me. Uru, voiced by Neil Kasi. Tong, David Wong, who's good to hear his voice. Mel, another one who I've met, him and his voice actor, Chris George. Alec, Marcus D. Samek. Gamal, voiced by Anthony Bowling. Gord, voiced by Ruby Lopez, and that's it. Yeah, so they try to do something, of course, to be scary. Of course, she shoves one into a wall. And, of course, basically, I think it's Tong ends being basically his roommate. And he just sleeps in a normal bed, no problem. And they wakes up. I was like, oh, yeah, I got to begin the training. Then, of course, that he meets up with his friends who got spiffy uniforms. And, like, she's doing fine. And, of course, this is not a prison. You can go whenever you want to, just after training, of course. And the start of it is not as bad. So, she basically just grab on the mod. It's warp. And then a lot of it is basically run until your legs run out. Of course, her using healing magic. And then, of course, more running. And then eventually push-ups. And also going with the team itself. At one point, the push-ups involve her putting 2 big blocks of concrete on his back. And this becomes basically the first one. And she sits on it. You think, oh, did she sit on him? No. She sits on the rock on top of him. And just by sheer coincidence, the princess of the kingdom, along with his friends and one of the guard, and the captain of the commander of the army just happened to come by of a visit. Of course, he proceeds to scold her, and of course mentions, oh yeah, he basically can't go out in the field because she her eyes scarred. And then we're introduced to the beautiful princess, Brentasila, voiced by someone who I have met 2 years ago. Another wonderful person, mean person, Sarah Weinerhoff. Yep, who actually I'm a little bit younger than I'm actually older than she is. Yeah, I think just recently, I think she just turned 30 or 31. She just joined, but great person. Yeah, because when I met her, it was just almost 2 years ago. It was that Shogi Expo, and I got her a copy of an anime she was in. Oh, she's 31 now. Yeah, 31. I'm roughly 5 years older than she is. Yep. I think when I met her 2 years ago, I was 34. She was 29 when I first met her. Yep. Oh, yeah, and also, while he's in training, he apparently has a bit of muscle. And, of course, we see Susan's little, like, drilling side. She's ooze, like, her muscles, like, then she lifts up and she's like, oh, he's got rock-hard abs. Yes. It's like, let me touch your beefiness. Well, this comes right after eat some pie. And then, of course, basically, he gets into a little friendly scrap with David Wade's character. And, of course, everything's all fine. Of course, they proceed to go back to training. And that's 2 episodes in a nutshell. It is fun 2 episodes. I thoroughly enjoy this. And I can't wait to explore the rest of the series. Okay, so that's pretty much it particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do that dislike button. I did have a Comic Con plan, but I have to get ready for bed soon because I have to get early in the morning to go to work tomorrow. 5 a.m. So I'm going to go make up some shakes and then hop in a shower and head to bed. Okay? But do you see you all tomorrow. Bye.